go to Matthew. Matthew 22. Just a second, it's gonna take a minute for me to get there. Matthew 22 and verse 37. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Our message tonight is love God more than other things. So, in Matthew 22:37, Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. We should love God more. We should love God more because we should love him. I'll tell you why once we get there. Well, it's also, and if you go to it's Matthew 22 and 38. This is the first and great commandment. That's the first and great commandment. And now we ask the question, do we do stuff for God? We learn that we cannot serve both. Matthew 6:24. Wait, 6. Oh, that's 5. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So there's two masters. Satan, and he has the stuff, and God, and he has eternal life. You cannot serve God and mammon. But mammon, what is mammon? Money. Why should we love God more than other things? 1 John 4 and verse 19. We love him because he first loved us. Why should we love him? Because he first loved us. Oh, that's good. And then, why did he love us? Revelation 1 and verse 5. And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. And then Ephesians, if I can find Ephesians. Hebrews, James, Thessalonians, oh man. Ephesians, Philippians, Galatians, Ephesians. Okay, Ephesians 5 and verse 25. Okay, husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, and that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. Why did he love us? God sent Jesus down to the earth as and then he became like a human, like us, except that he was God still. And he came down to save us, and that's why we know we're going to heaven. Why we um why we do things like God would tell us to do, and why we wouldn't do things that that Satan would want us to do. And my point tonight is we should love God more, and we should keep him as the most. If I had a slider here, one of those things where you have like this and God, Satan, and then you swipe, and then that, and I would turn it all the way to God and not stop.
So, still trying to continue comparing the chapters of Isaiah to the books of the Bible, 66 of each. Kind of looking, probably won't take time to go all the way through 2 chapters of Isaiah tonight, but Isaiah 15 and 16 do kind of go together. It's all about, starts out calling it the burden of Moab, and it's all about prophecies against Moab, how they're going to weep and lament and be punished. And then Ezra and Nehemiah are the 15th and 16th books of the Bible, and they kind of go together also. They're all about exiles returning from Babylon back to Jerusalem and rebuilding the temple and everything. And I hope, well, I don't know if I hope, but it would be nice if I don't feel like I'm finding the main. I mean, how can this Isaiah is all about Moab, and this is all about rebuilding the temple. I don't see any big, strong connection. I found some smaller ones, but let me know if you see the big thing that I'm missing. So, starting in Isaiah 15, the first 2 verses, the burden of Moab. Because in the night Ar of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Because in the night Kir of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. He's gone up to Bajith, and here again I'm just throwing out the names, my best guess. Sorry if I'm wrong. He's gone up to Bajith and to Dibon, the high places, to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo and over Medeba. On all their heads shall be baldness, and every beard cut off. So, and there's a lot, if we read the whole chapter, there's a lot of weeping and crying and sorrow. The first 8 chapters of Ezra is basically, as far as I can tell, kind of a history. King Cyrus the Persian, I believe, came up with it all by himself, as far as I can tell, to make a proclamation and ask the Jews to go back and build, and he helped them and everything, sent the golden things back that had been taken from the temple, and so on. But Ezra, the first connection I saw, well, let's see. Let's go there and find out what I found. Ezra 9, 1-15. Okay. So Isaiah 15 is about a lot of lamentation, weeping, and crying. These 15 verses in Ezra chapter 9 are pretty serious weeping and crying and bemoaning. I think I just want to read them. And when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations. even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of these lands, those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. The leaders were the worst offenders. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard and sat down astonied. So that's a pretty drastic lamentation right there. And continued, then were assembled unto me every one that trembled at the words of the God of Israel because of the transgression of those that had been carried away, and I sat astonied until the evening sacrifice. And at the evening sacrifice I arose up from my heaviness, and having rent my garment and my mantle, I fell upon my knees and spread out my hands unto the Lord my God, and said, O my God, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my God, for our iniquities have increased over our head, and our trespasses grown up unto the heavens. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face, as it is this day. And now for a little space grace hath been showed from the Lord our God to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our God may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. For we were bondmen, yet our God hath not forsaken us in our bondage, but hath extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to give us a reviving, to set up the house of our God, and to repair the desolations thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and Jerusalem. And now, O our God, what shall we say after this? For we have forsaken thy commandments, which thou hast commanded by thy servants the prophets, saying, the land unto which ye go to possess it is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of the lands, with their abominations which have filled it from one end to another with their uncleanness. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take, these were their original instructions. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. And after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our God, hast punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and hast given us such deliverance as this, should we again break thy commandments, and join in affinity with the people of these abominations? Wouldst not thou be angry with us till thou hadst consumed us, so that there should be no remnant nor escaping? So that's quite a lamentation, crying, weeping. So the connection I saw, Isaiah 15 is about the burden of Moab, and a lot of crying and weeping about that. Here we've got a lot of crying and weeping about something that partly is related to Moab. Back at, was that even in here? Yeah, in verse 1, Ezra 9:1. They have not separated themselves from the people of lands, even of the Canaanites and so on. And the third to the last is the Moabites. So we've got Moab and crying and weeping in both Isaiah and Ezra. I forget exactly why I said this, but in chapter 10, the people basically got right. It was a big, long process of judging each case and all that, but they did get that all right. And then there was one more kind of a small connection. Isaiah 15:2 mentions Nebo. He's gone up to Badgeth and to Dibon, the high places, to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo, and over Medeba on all their heads shall be baldness, and every beard cut off. Moab shall howl over Nebo. Ezra 2:29. Nebo is mentioned as, I'm almost positive this is, it says the children of Nebo 50 and 2. They're listing all, I'm almost positive they're talking about either the mountain or the area, not somebody's name. I believe there was somebody named Nebo here and there, the reason I think it was that is because the verses around there all seem to be places, especially like 34, the children of Jericho, 340 and 5. And it's kind of interesting. Ezra 2:29 says the children of Nebo 50 and 2. I think those are ones that went up. And then Nehemiah chapter 7, verse 33. The men of the other Nebo 50 and 2. It's the same count, so I'm guessing that means the same thing. That's about all I have as far as seeing similar things in Isaiah and Ezra. But I did run across a couple of interesting things. Interesting to me, I thought I'd throw them out. Isaiah 15:5. My heart shall cry out for Moab, and his fugitives shall flee unto Zoar, and heifer of 3 years old. For by the mounting up of Luhith, with weeping shall they go it up, for in the way of Horonaim they shall raise up a cry of destruction. Jeremiah 48:3. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, spoiling and great destruction. And also verse 5. I don't know why I didn't include 4. Moab is destroyed, her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the going up of Luhith, continual weeping shall go up. For in the going down of Horonaim, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. A lot of the same phrasing between Isaiah and Jeremiah. And then there's another similar thing, Isaiah 15:6, the first part, for the waters of Nimrim shall be desolate. Jeremiah 48:3, what? 48:34. The end of the verse, for the waters also of Nimrim shall be desolate. The waters of Nimrim shall be desolate. Exact quote. And I think I'll let that be enough. I was thinking of another verse. I'm sure there are other comparisons like that.
In general, do you think it's real?